I want power because I want a name. Forget it. Not this end time. God is too serious for that kind of joke. I want power because I want to also be a... Let me tell you, a man who begins to seek God at 80 years, you will find God, but there are dimensions. The remaining lifetime you have will not afford you to grow and transit and metamorphose spiritually to access certain dimensions of God. It says, seek him early while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. 7. It says, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return to the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to God, for he will abundantly pardon. Brokenness. Let me tell you this. Brokenness is not necessarily for sinners. Pride has almost killed men of God in our generation. This holier than thou mentality. Whenever I talk about brokenness like this, there are people who just say it doesn't, let's get to power part. Listen, brokenness is a state of the heart that declares your consistent dependence on God. The Bible says a broken and a contrite spirit God will not despise. Do you know why many of us, although we feel qualified, we never find God? Because we believe that standing in our self-righteousness, based on what we believe we have and know, God should anoint me. Brokenness. Brokenness. Show me a man that can be broken towards God. I show you a man who the devil will never have access to him. Look at David. Moses was a man who walked with God very faithfully. The Bible says he was the meekest man on earth, yet Moses could not enter the promised land. Do you know that? Just because God told him to speak to the rock, and out of anger that was justified, he took a staff and hit the rock. God said, that's it, you are not going. He joined all the other people who could not make the promised land. But here is David. Search me, O God. Let me tell you the posture of those that God will use in this generation. Search me, O God, and try my heart. It says, if there is any wicked way in me, you don't have to manifest it yet. It can be there, waiting until you have an estate. Nobody knows that one day you can insult a woman the age of your mother. You are not yet rich, so you will think that just because I'm an obedient young man. Who would have known that David one day will kill Uriah and sleep with Bathsheba? Put a man's death sentence and say, go and die. A nice shepherd boy. Please, I'd like you to pray in 1 minute and say, Lord, I open my heart. Search it. Brokenness is a language that our generation hates. But let me tell you, it is the secret. The number one proof that you are a man of the secret place is that consistently, it is not sin that destroys men. It is the pride of an unbroken heart before God. It is not weakness and limitation that destroys men. It is the pride of an unbroken heart. Nebuchadnezzar was brought to his knees until he was broken. Pharaoh was brought to his knees until he was broken. Lift your voice and pray. Lord, I'm not ashamed of whatever you find in my heart, but I come to you just as I am. Let there be a brokenness. Searching al Jannah, ya bone nakao, sujada ne nakao, searching salama, searching al Jannah, ya bone nakao, sujada ne. Searching salama, searching Psalm 139 verse 23. Brokenness. One big key in my life. Show me a man that is broken and contrite before God, I show you a man whose rising cannot be stopped by any cause, any gate, whatever it is. He says, search me, O God, and know my heart, like a man knows his wife. Know my heart. He said, try me and know my thoughts. 24. He said, and see if there be any wicked way, and lead me to the way everlasting. That's a man before God. That's the posture that can bring the presence of God, attract the presence of God to a man. Every time we stand before God believing, Lord, why are you using this man? There are people who see certain of our orthodox pastors and they stand as young people full of themselves and say, this reverend, this man, he doesn't even speak English well. Why is God using him? Why is the man rising? Whereas I am here, I'm a fasting giant, I have this knowledge, I have that, I have this, and yet the ministry does not grow. Do you know why? Because that man is not sound in the word and he knows it. So he goes to God and say, Lord, if you depend on my teaching, these members will not grow. I come to you with my limited revelation. Can your grace speak for me? And God says, the little prayer you pray for the members, I will amplify it, because it's coming from a broken heart. Let me tell you, pride kills. When you see people arrogant for a long time, they have left the secret place. I can know whether you are one who is of the secret place by the consistency of self-glorification and pride. If up to 1 month in your life passes without you seeing a need to spend time with God alone, it's a sign your life is under attack. Hear me, if you're a man of God here, listen twice. Don't be carried away by some of these little accolades in ministry. Oh, they invited me here, I went to this country, a senator met with me, he said you are the greatest man of God in the world. While they are saying that, keep your ears to the throne. Lord, what are you saying? In the midst of that clap, God can say, finish that meeting and let's meet where we usually meet. You will enter there and God will never talk to you about a senator. God will say, I'm already seeing. There is, I want to bless you with 100 million, but there's something I'm seeing. That 100 million would destroy you. And say, God, me? I just a senator. I would have prophesied to God, say, keep quiet. I am God. Brokenness.